Scarborough Castle rises dramatically from a rocky headland on England's North Sea coast. Its weathered stones silhouetted against the sky. The site has seen 3.5 millennia of human activity, from the Bronze Age, when axes, swords and jewellery were left behind, through Roman occupation with its signal towers warning of Germanic raids, to Viking settlements that gave Scarborough its name, Scartisborough, the fortified place of a hare-lipped Norseman. Normans and medieval kings followed, establishing timber and later stone fortresses, shaping the castle into a key defensive stronghold. Each era has left traces, but also stories, some violent, some tragic, and some that refuse to die. Among the many spirits said to linger here is Piers Gaveston, Earl of Cornwall, notorious favourite of King Edward II. Born around 1284 in Gascony, Gaveston entered the royal household in his early teens and formed an unusually close bond with Edward, who became king in 1307. This friendship, some contemporary observers assumed, crossed the boundaries of normal companionship, and modern historians have speculated on its nature. Regardless, the political repercussions were severe. Gaveston's rise made the Earl of Cornwall and granted lands, titles and influence, provoked resentment among the English nobility, particularly among powerful barons who saw him as arrogant and greedy. His enemies included Beauchamp, the Earl of Warwick, a man of intelligence, wealth and martial prowess, whose enmity would ultimately seal Gaveston's fate. In 1312, Gaveston sought refuge in Scarborough Castle, briefly besieged before surrendering under promises of safe conduct. Yet betrayal followed. Seized by Warwick and other barons, he was dragged from Warwick Castle in humiliation, paraded through towns on a horse adorned with ribbons and bells, and led to Blacklow Hill. There, on the 19th of June, he was executed, beheaded and run through with a sword. Though his death took place far from Scarborough, local legend insists that his spirit returned to the castle he once occupied. Visitors tell of sudden chills, glimpses of a headless figure among the ruins, and a pervasive sense of being watched. Some describe the ghost as moving along the cliff's edge, a spectral echo of the man who once dominated the court, yet met such a violent end. Blacklow Hill, where the execution occurred, retains an unequally oppressive atmosphere. The hilltop, now marked by a simple stone monument, seems to pulse with memory. Witnesses report hearing faint jingles of the bells drifting on the wind, a spectral reminder of the ribbons and bells that adorned Gaveston's horse during his final ride. At times, ghostly figures of armed men and a woman in flowing robes have been seen, silently crossing the hill in solemn procession. The air grows heavy and still, and some visitors experience a sudden dizziness or nausea, as though the ground itself remembers the cruelty enacted there. The combination of open skies, isolated location, and the weight of history makes Blacklow Hill one of England's most chilling historical sites. While Gaveston's spirit haunts the north, his adversary, Beauchamp, continues to make his presence known near Redditch. Known in life as the Black Dog of Arden, due to his dark complexion and formidable demeanour, he died in 1315 and was interred at Bordesley Abbey. Centuries later, in March 1864, the Abbey ruins were excavated by James Woodward, who uncovered a stone coffin believed to contain Warwick's remains. That night, working alone among the moonlit stones, Woodward reported hearing a terrifying howl. Emerging from the ruins was a massive black dog with glowing eyes, an apparition so lifelike it froze him in place. The creature lingered for a moment, then vanished into the mist, leaving Woodward shaken. Since that time, the legend of the Black Dog of Arden has endured. Sightings occurred across the surrounding countryside, along forest paths, canal banks, and abandoned fields. Locals speak of a huge shadowy hound appearing silently at night, watching travellers from a distance before disappearing. Some interpret it as a guardian, others as a harbinger. Yet all agree the presence is unnerving. Stories of black dogs have circulated throughout England for centuries, and the Arden forests have long been associated with strange, unearthly creatures. Here, the line between folklore and the restless dead blurs, with Warwick's spirit said to roam in the form of the spectral hound. Bordesley Abbey itself, though mostly ruined, holds a unique place in local imagination. The abbey, founded in the 12th century, became a hub of monastic life until its dissolution. The stones whisper of centuries of ritual, learning, and sudden destruction, and the land has absorbed countless tragedies. Visitors report cold spots, fleeting shadows, and inexplicable sounds among the ruins. The combination of history, solitude, and legend creates an atmosphere where the past seems present and the boundary between the living and the dead feels fragile. Scarborough Castle, Blacklow Hill, and Bordesley Abbey form a triangle of spectral activity linked by the lives and deaths of Gaveston and Warwick. At Scarborough, the sea wind carries whispers of past sieges, ghostly apparitions, and the sense of a headless favourite moving among the cliffs. At Blacklow Hill, the sound of bells and faint phantom processions records the brutality of a single summer day in 1312. At Bordesley Abbey, the black dog stalks silently through ruins, a reminder of mortal power. Each site carries its own unique character. The stories endure because these sites are layered with memory. The land remembers, it seems, the ambitions, betrayals, and deaths that occurred upon it. Human violence, ambition, and injustice have left invisible traces, shaping the experiences of those who come centuries later. The ghosts of Scarborough Castle, Blacklow Hill, and Bordesley Abbey are tied to history, but persist in a liminal space where time and reason become less certain. Visitors often find themselves contemplating not only the past, but the nature of memory, mortality, and what it means for the dead to linger among the living.